Yeah, let me update you on our injuries. Tyler Owens did not return due to a hamstring. Reese Leto and Josh Moore are being evaluated for knee injuries, and Delia Dayway and Roshan Johnson both being evaluated for shoulder injuries. On the game, credit to Coach Patterson and TCU. They made more plays, obviously, than we did. Really sloppy game in all phases, but we had a chance to win at the end and couldn't do it. And we'll lick our wounds tonight and go back to the drawing board. I told our guys that, the cool thing about the Big 12 is the teams with the two best records at the end of the season are going to play for the championship. And so we've still got a long way to go, hopefully, in this season. And, we'll lick our wounds tonight, get back to the drawing board. We can't continue to beat ourselves the way that we have these last 2 weeks and expect to win many more ball games. So I've got, that's on me to get them ready and find a way to make sure that we don't beat ourselves. And because I know our guys will be amped up and ready to play next week. There's no doubt about that. But, we've got to play much smarter for us to have a chance to win. Questions?
Raise your hand if you have a question. Go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, Tom. I mean, I know a lot of people are just going to look at Keontae and the fumble there, but I wanted to ask you about the running game as a whole. How do you feel it has really been going, and was that one of the bigger problems today? Y'all just couldn't get it going consistently on the ground.
I think that consistently is the key word there. We were feast or famine, right? I mean, we would have some explosive plays and some zero negative yard plays that we couldn't stay ahead of the sticks. And, we've got to find a way. I think we found a few runs there towards the end that were hitting pretty good. But we need to do a better job early in the game of establishing the run and not having it take that long for us to find a run or two that we can hang our hat on.
1 second left on the clock for your recollection, because it seemed like there's 1 second that you guys didn't ask to have put back on.
I'm sorry, there was a bunch of feedback here on more. Can you repeat the question?
It seemed like there was 1 second left on the clock. Did you guys think about trying to ask to put that back on, or were you not aware of that?
I wasn't aware, but regardless, the way I understand it would have been an untimed down, and because of the holding penalty, the way they explained it to me, and they would have had an opportunity to, run the same play, which was take a safety and run the clock out. So, one, I wasn't aware of it, and two, I'm not sure, based on the new rule, that it would have mattered. Yeah, I'm very confident that we can get our problems fixed. This team is very together. They were hurt in the locker room, but I heard a bunch of guys, picking each other up, understanding that we've got a long season, and the only way to fix it is with hard work and going back to practice with a purpose. But yeah, I don't sense at all that this team wants to do anything other than improve, and so it's our job as coaches to make sure that we do that throughout the week.
Go ahead, Bob. Tom, how hard is it to get in a rhythm when there are that many penalties called on both sides, whether you agree or disagree with them? How hard is it to get any kind of rhythm of a game when that many penalties are called? It was a really, I don't have a better adjective other than weird feeling down there, and it was difficult to get in a rhythm. But, at the end of the day, they found a way to do it, and we didn't. And, we didn't capitalize on the big turnover. We had a huge penalty that negated an explosive play. We had penalties negate a couple
big time explosive plays. And, when you're behind the sticks as much as we were behind the chains, that's really, really difficult place to find yourself a rhythm. And that's certainly going to be an area of emphasis is to obviously cut down the penalties, but then stay ahead of the chain so that we can develop a rhythm.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Tom, on the penalties, looking at them as you did on the field, how do you blame for that? Is it discipline? Is it just carelessness? Or they obviously negated some huge plays for y'all, starting with the kick return. So what would be your overall message of why they happen?
Well, I think there's a thousand reasons why they happen, but it goes back to us not being able to translate our practices and game work to the field. And in my opinion, nobody's going out there being careless. Nobody's going out there trying to commit a penalty. We've got to find a way to manufacture rep after rep after rep to, again, make sure that it's second nature, when they're doing whatever job description it is that they're doing, and that there's no thinking, they're not out of position. And, again, that comes with repetition. We can teach it, preach it, coach it till we're blue in the face, but, we've got to find a way to make sure that, we're getting the necessary reps to where, it is second nature, and it's not a deal where guys are thinking too much.
John, go ahead.
Coach, you said it's on you to get the guys ready. Was there a sense that they weren't ready coming into this? And why do you think it was so sloppy, especially on offense for a while?
No, we had a really good week of practice. That's why I'm pretty surprised, to be honest with you. I don't know, to be honest with you, John. That's something I've got to dig deep into finding out, and it probably goes beyond the video. I'm going to have some deep conversations with our leadership council and find out, the psyche of the team, because I felt like, heading into yesterday, we were in a really, really good place. And, obviously that didn't show today. And so we've got to find a way to make sure, again, that whatever it is that caused the breakdowns today, that doesn't come back to bite us again. But sitting here right now, I don't have a great answer, John, other than we had a great week of practice, and we've got to find a way then to turn those great weeks of practice into great execution on game day.
Nick.
Yeah, Tom, just kind of wanted to ask your thoughts on Sam's performance. It seems kind of weird to say that, he felt a little bit off even though he threw 4 touchdowns again, but I think, like you said, the whole offense sort of struggled to kind of keep and maintain that rhythm. So just kind of what do you think of Sam's performance today? Yeah,
I think, it was up and down. He made some really, really good throws, made some ill-advised ones as well. TCU's defense did a really good job. So you never want to, it's not like we were playing on air out there. Those guys, they've got a really good defense, and they got a lot better this week. And, they came out ready to play and played well, but I don't think anybody's confidence in Sam is shaken in the least. And I'm sure he'll tell you he didn't play his best game, but at the end of the day, I think we're all pretty confident in him and his abilities.
After 3 last ones, go ahead, Dan.
At the end of the second half, or end of the first quarter, at your 55 seconds left, you just ran it twice. Was that as simple as y'all just didn't have any timeouts, or why did you decide to just run it twice there and not try to get something going?
Well, we did the drive before, and we threw an interception, and our defense did a good job of holding them to 3 points, and with whatever it was, 50 seconds or whatever, and no timeouts, with that kind of field position, thought it was the best thing to do to go into halftime down 6, 1-score game, and regroup and come back out in the second half.
Yeah, Tom. I want to go back to the drive with the Ingram fumble. Was there any question in your mind that after Keontae had the big long run and then the shorter gain to get to the lip, was there any chance of swapping him out for someone different, or were you okay with leaving him in at that point?
Yeah, I was great. You know, Roshan was out. Bijan had 1 day of practice, and we had called a tempo play. So no, there was no. We were good leaving him in there.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, Tom, you guys have ridden a real roller coaster the last couple of weeks. How much onus, you mentioned the leadership council, how much onus is on that group to keep these guys up going into what's going to be the biggest game of the year to date?
Yeah, I think a lot. You know, now it's a lot easier going into this week. You know, I don't think there's anybody that is going to take our opponent lightly, and I think we all know the quality of opponent that we're going to play this week, and so I do know that the want to, the desire, the intensity level will be there. It's more of a matter of us again finding a way to take the practice reps to the field on Saturday, and that falls on me, that falls on our coaches, and you're right, it falls on the leadership of this team to make sure that we get that done.